Help us understand why you brought this case and why you settled it.
Thank you, Andrew. It's good to be with you. Look, Congress passed a law many decades ago called the Securities Act, and it was to protect the public. And part of that law said that if you tout a stock, you need to disclose not only that you're getting paid, but also the amount, so the source and the nature of those payments. And so this was to protect the public when folks, and this law was passed in the 1930s. We've brought these types of cases over the decades, but even in the last 5 years with regard to crypto, it's really important that the public understand if somebody is touting a crypto security token, that are they getting paid and how much are they getting paid? And we brought a case a number of years ago, I think four years ago, against Floyd Mayweather, against DJ Khaled, Steve Seagal, an actor, and others over the years. So this is, unfortunately, it's another time that we brought a case.
Chair Gensler,
like this.
explain this, though, because I think that there's probably lots of questions in the public, in the influencer space, social media, about the distinctions that are being made here. Our understanding is, at least from the posts that I've seen from Kim Kardashian, that seems to be the one in question, she had what's called a hashtag ad under the post, which is something that a lot of influencers do to identify, in fact, that this is a promotional post. Why does that not count in this instance? Is it simply that she has to actually disclose the amount of money she's receiving? And how does that differ, for example, from others who make similar posts, who may own, in fact, different cryptos or other securities and promoting them? I'm thinking of Michael Saylor from MicroStrategies, who has a huge stake in this, has been out promoting on online and elsewhere. Or you could even talk about an Elon Musk, who's talked about Dogecoin. They may not be being paid specifically cash to promote those things, but they have such a large investment in them that they have even more at stake, frankly.
So let me talk about the core, and I think why this is in the securities laws. You're right that if you're advertising perfume or you're advertising vacation homes or anything else on the internet, there are various laws related to that. But these are the securities laws, and those other laws might be appropriate to just a hashtag ad. But in the securities laws, Congress put in place that you have to disclose not only that you're getting paid, but the amount, nature of it. And this was really to protect the investing public when somebody is touting a stock, and whether that's a celebrity, an influencer, or the like. And that's at the core of what this is about.
So if you see an ad,
we've brought these cases in the past.
Right. Chair Gensler, if you were to see an ad, and I think we all did during the Super Bowl, for example, with Matt Damon around crypto, I don't know if in the fine print of that ad, it said how much he was being paid personally to promote that. Would that be something that would be required?
I'm not going to get into, Andrew, I understand the question. I'm not going to get into any other specific circumstances, but it always depends on the facts and the circumstances and the anti-touting provisions of the Act.
But I guess what's the distinction? If we were to see an ad on television, an ad in print, with a picture of an actor, an actress, an individual of any sort that's being paid anything, a model, are they supposed to specifically disclose the amount of money that that model or actor or whomever is being paid?
In this circumstance, and let me say I want to acknowledge Ms. Kardashian has been cooperating and ongoing cooperation, and we really appreciate that. But in this particular case, this was about an influencer, a high-profile celebrity, on their Instagram site putting out a tout for this token Ethereum Max, which is a security we've determined. And so those are the facts and circumstances here. And it's important for the investing public to understand also this is a highly speculative asset class. And so when a celebrity or influence is touting it, it's important that the public understands that relationship and are they getting paid and how much they're getting paid on their Instagram site. That's what this was about.